Dave Wilson, you're with a brand new company called Agents for FM. What exactly does that mean?
Well, what we're trying to do is we're trying to change the consultancy model so that people traditionally have gone to a consultant, either one of the big practices who don't have a lot of facilities management expertise, very good, smart people there, but they don't have a lot of expertise about best practice or about the markets, or they go to individual consultants or small practices. Based typically in a single territory. What we're trying to do is change that model so that there is a genuine international specialist facilities ability to be delivered that will work long term with clients, and that's why we've described it as agents rather than consultants, because we see ourselves as being A, change agents, and B, people who will work on behalf of the client in the long term. So it's not a question of turning up, writing a report, taking our check and walking away. So the question is about making sure that we have a sustainable and long-term plan to deliver real benefits to the organisations that we work with. And we believe there's a demand for that globally, and that's what we're pitching for. We aim to get real people who understand the benefit of FM and will move it forward in a way which is coherent and consistent and hopefully productive for them.
Now, your company was established quite recently in the UK, and here you are in Dubai.
Yes.
And you're planning to set up, or you have set up already, in Qatar.
We have a representative office in Qatar, and that we hope will, in time, become a fully fledged entity there. But obviously, that takes time in this marketplace. But we're aiming to look at the whole of the Gulf region because of the way the marketplace is. Because we believe there's a demand from people, and people are learning all the time. Developers are learning, occupiers are learning. And end users are learning about what works and what doesn't work in this marketplace. And we think for the region to be successful, it needs to get to grips with the principles of facilities management and to develop a supply chain to support those, all those fantastic buildings that are going up in a way which is different to the way it's happening at the moment. So,
the buildings which we already see in Dubai and Abu Dhabi and so on, which are pretty much all new because the entire construction is essentially in the last 10 years or even fewer. Roughly speaking, how many of those do you think were built with facilities managers involved?
Very, very few. I mean, it would be by far the exception for facilities managers to have been involved. And quite often what happens is that a building is handed over, and that's the first time that facilities managers will get to see the plans or to understand what the building is meant to achieve. And clearly there's a lot of experience in facilities managers about delivering successful buildings.
So at what point should that begin then?
Well, I believe it should be right from the inception of the project, and it's not particularly time consuming. The architects do an awful lot of conceptual work, and they have the ideas and the vision. But what is needed a lot of the time is just a practical walk of buildings. So how do things move from A to B? How do people get in and out of the building? How does the impression which the developer or the owner or the occupier want to convey, how does that happen in practice? The interface between reception services and people walking into the building the first time, for example, is critical to their perception of the building, and it's very rarely planned through properly. And that is just the start of a journey for customers through the building, which we believe should be a consistent pattern of adding value.
Do you have any clients already in this region, in Qatar or in the UAE?
Well, we've got a long history of as individuals, I think, of being in and around. My colleague, the other principal in the business line of projects, has been out to Qatar and Kuwait and Abu Dhabi and Dubai, both on study visits and on business visits, and he is fairly well known in the region. I've been here, and in fact in this particular building, training the team for Dubai World Trade Center 2 years ago, because there was a recognition here of a need to change the way in which the model was being delivered and to create a single team, and particularly to create a customer service element, because at the end of the day, facilities management is a service industry. It's about the perceptions and the expectations and the delivery to the end user. And that is a seriously different approach to what a lot of people have at the moment, which is that they think facilities is about managing buildings. And that's only one part of the job. From my point of view, a building is just a tool to enable you to deliver benefit to the occupiers. So,
how is the current economic situation affected you? You're being quite brave, actually, in setting out with a new venture at this moment.
We think it's the ideal time. I think, everybody's keeping their fingers crossed in Europe, but we seem to be past the worst without tempting fate. There's been a lot of hesitancy among people in Europe about starting new projects. There's been a lot of projects shelved. There comes a time when organisations can't do that. They simply have to bite the bullet. But of course, it puts a new focus on what facilities management can deliver in terms of its value. And we think that there is a serious demand for greater integration. We're working on projects with clients who are saying, well, we want to save money, but we've already been through the mill of cut, so what do we do next? And there are techniques that you can use, particularly if you're prepared to go into a multinational situation, to try and maximise the leverage that you get from your spend, to introduce common processes, to not rework stuff, and really, really radically improve the service offer. And we believe there is still money to be saved. But of course, that shouldn't be the main focus for organisations in the long term. What they should be looking at is how they can make more money out of their buildings. And we're also able, we hope, to help them through that process.
How has the reception here been?
I think it's good. We had a very positive response to the press releases we've issued. People are very positive about the website and about the message that we're giving. It is different, and it is, I think, a coherent and well thought through explanation about why we are going to do something which really the market's crying out for, but which nobody's yet managed to do. So, and we're either self-confident enough or arrogant enough to think that we can manage it.